Thank you for joining us. You're watching the English News Bulletin. Let's take a look at our top stories.
Prime Minister Nguyen Tan Dung stretches provision of market economic institutions. State Duma chairman visits Vietnam. And later on, Hanoi, Da Nang among Asia's most attractive destinations.
The Veterans Association of Vietnam convened the 5th Patriotic Emulation Congress in Hanoi on December 2nd. President Nguyen Tan Dung attended the event.
The Congress was timed to coincide with the association's 25th founding anniversary. President Nguyen Tan Dung in his speech said the Veterans Association of Vietnam has grown into a strong socio-political organization that represents the strong will and aspirations of war veterans across the country. He asked the association to work closely with the Vietnam Fatherland Front and units concerned to put the regulations on democracy at grassroots level in place, while giving feedback on social activities and party build-up. Lieutenant General Phung Khắc Đăng, Vice President of the Association's Central Committee, said the campaign Exemplary War Veterans has spread far and wide over the past 5 years. The agency has so far grouped 16,000 chapters with 2.8 million members who have lent a hand with clearing out 77,900 rundown houses and reducing the rate of poor households to 4.22%.
Prime Minister Nguyen Tan Dung has said the government will focus on perfecting market economic institutions in the coming time, seeing the task as a determinant of the economic growth. The leader was speaking at the Vietnam Business Forum 2014, themed Entrepreneurship for New Trade Agreement, that opened in Hanoi on December 2nd. This is the official dialogue channel for the Vietnamese government and the business community. It aims to build a favorable business environment, thus attracting more investments and spurring economic growth. Prime Minister Nguyen Tan Dung made it clear that Vietnam will continue to stabilize its macroeconomy, targeting the GDP growth of 6.2% and an inflation rate at 5% in 2015. The government plans to bring the country's annual average GDP growth to 6.5 to 7% between 2016 and 2020. Efforts will be further exerted to enable enterprises to better their productivity and competitiveness, thus helping improve business climate. The cabinet leader emphasized the anti-corruption work as a priority in the coming time. He called for foreign invested groups and international organizations' contributions to the country's reform efforts. Virginia Foote, who co-chaired the forum, praised Vietnam's efforts in improving its investment climate, citing the National Assembly's recent adoption of the revised investment and enterprise laws. The forum focused on such issues as bad and public debts, measures to boost the development of private businesses, and administrative reforms, among others. Chairman of the State Duma of the Federal Assembly of Russia, Sergei Evgenievich Narishkin, is paying an official visit to Vietnam. Our reporters have more.
Following the welcome ceremony, Narishkin held talks with Chairman of Vietnam National Assembly Nguyễn Sinh Hùng, who affirms Vietnam always considers Russia top partner in his foreign policy. He said the upgrading of their relationship to the comprehensive strategic partnership manifests Russia's significant position, as well as the fine bilateral cooperation between the two countries. The chief legislator calls for more Russian assistance in education and training, expressing his wish for more cultural exchanges between the two sides. Narishkin noted his hope that Vietnam and Russia will further boost the bilateral trade ties, especially in the context that the free trade agreement between Vietnam and the Customs Union of Russia, Belarus and Kazakhstan is expected to be reached in 2015. He pledged that Russia will prioritize cooperation with the Southeast Asian country in such areas as nano, information, lace and biological technologies. House and guests agreed to step up the friendship and cooperation between the two legislative bodies through the exchange of delegations. They will also support each other at the Interparliamentary Union and the Asia-Pacific Parliamentary Forum. The same day, the chairman of the State Duma engaged in an exchange with students of the Vietnam National University, Hanoi, during which he said Russia always creates best possible conditions for Vietnamese students to learn in the country.
Vice Chairwoman of the National Assembly Nguyen Tan Dung hosted a reception for a delegation from the Mongolian National Audit Office in Hanoi on December 2nd.
At her meeting with Mongolian Auditor General Jangat Ayer, Nguyen voiced her hope that the two sides will increase experience sharing in auditing activities while closely coordinating with each other at multilateral forums. She called on Vietnam and Mongolia to maintain the exchange of visits and meetings between the high-ranking leaders and friendship parliamentarians groups. Echoing Nguyen's views, Jangat Ayer said the State Audit Office of Vietnam and the Mongolian National Audit Office will focus on sharing experience in auditing activities in the fields of natural resource exploitation, food safety, and information technology.
Vietnam and Laos have agreed to increase the exchange of visits and training courses on ethnic work. The two sides reached the consensus at a meeting in Vientiane on December 1st.
President of the Lao Front for National Construction Central Committee Phan Duong Chit Phong Sa told Deputy Minister and Deputy Head of the Vietnamese Government's Committee for Ethnic Affairs Sơn Phước Hoan that Laos is willing to share more experience with Vietnam in ethnic affairs in the coming time. The host said the joint work will cover personnel's training, dissemination of ethnic laws and policies, especially those related to poverty reduction in border ethnic inhabited regions. Hoan informed his host of the outcomes of his talks with the Lao Front for National Construction Central Committee. The two sides also agreed to draft a socio-economic development scheme for areas along the two countries' borderline. The Vietnamese delegation is on a working visit to Laos from November 30th to December 4th.
The National Institute of Nutrition under the Vietnamese Health Ministry launched the Micronutrient Day on December 1st with the aim of preventing micronutrient deficiencies among mothers and children.
During the biennial drive on December 1st and 2nd, children aging from 6 to 36 months nationwide are provided with free vitamin A capsules for the second time in this year. Speaking at the launching ceremony, Lê Danh Tuyên, head of the National Institute of Nutrition, said the deficiency of micronutrients, including vitamin A, iron, zinc, and iodine in mothers and children, may lead to an array of health problems. Given this fact, a project has been implemented with the aim of speeding up communication campaigns on nutrition and measures to increase micronutrients in daily diets. It has to date have trained over 1,000 medical workers on nutrition and provided 700,000 micronutrient powder packs for medical stations in several localities. In 2013, 1 in every 3 under 5 kids in the country was stunted, and the deficiency of iron, vitamin A, iodine and zinc was most common.
A national report on Vietnamese youth, the first of its kind in Vietnam, is expected to be announced in 2015. Domestic and foreign experts joined in a conference in the northern province of Quảng Ninh on December 1st, aiming to collect comments on the draft report.
Vũ Đăng Minh, head of the Department of Youth Affairs at the Ministry of Home Affairs, said the report looks to assess the real conditions of education, employment and healthcare of the youth. It will also review related policies to give necessary recommendations. The report is expected to lay foundation for research and making, carrying out and overseeing the implementation of policies relating to the youth. United Nations Population Fund Deputy Representative in Vietnam, Rachel Nakin, said, Vietnam currently has a golden population structure with the highest ratio of youngsters in history. She noted the number of people aged from 10 to 24 account for nearly 40% of the country's population, adding that the period will remain until 2014. She commented The report will help figure out gaps in Vietnam's current policies on the youth, as well as the implementation of support policies in education, healthcare and employment.
A Trans-Vietnam cycling tournament for National Defense Cup was held in the southernmost province of Cà Mau on December 2nd. Let's take a look.
The event is part of activities to celebrate the 70th founding anniversary of the Vietnam People's Army and the 25th anniversary of the People's National Defense Day, which falls on December 22nd. As many as 300 cyclists from 15 leading domestic teams and 2 foreign teams of Cambodia and Laos will compete in a race covering 1,300 kilometers from Cà Mau to the northeastern province of Cao Bằng. During the race, the organizing board will launch various charitable activities, such as presenting gifts to social policy beneficiaries and scholarships to offspring of servicemen, with a total funding of $143,000. The tournament will run until December 16.
The Vietnam Shack Home has recently celebrated its first anniversary as a charity organization in the Czech Republic. In one short year, what started off as a small club of 32 Vietnamese humanitarians became a 132-member organization, holding true to one principle: to help those who can't help themselves. Let's take a look.
The organization frequently orchestrates charity events, aiming towards supporting fellow countrymen and women back in Vietnam. These activities have long earned the attention and dedication of international friends in the Czech Republic.
I work as the Vietnam Shack Home's legal advisor, particularly in maintaining good relationship with the local government when we organize charity works for Czech and Vietnamese children.
The non-profit and non-governmental organization aims to help orphans and disadvantaged people both in Vietnam and the Czech Republic. We could visit orphanages and elderly homes and provide people here with gifts in the holiday seasons.
On the occasion, the Vietnam Elderly Association was launched, becoming a platform for Vietnamese over 50 years of age to meet and support their fellows.
Apart from charity activities for children and people with disabilities, the Vietnam Shack Home also serves as a place for people like me to come together and practice traditional customs.
The Vietnam Shack Home has also collaborated with local authorities and unions to host a range of events promoting Vietnam's culture and cuisines.
Readers of Smart Travel Asia, the region's most dedicated online travel magazine, have voted Vietnam's capital city of Hanoi and the central city of Da Nang as 2 of the top 10 most attractive destinations in Asia.
Hanoi, which recently has made the list of top 10 most culturally rich cities around the world, compiled by La Hague website. The capital city is home to a great number of famous tourist attractions, including 4 UNESCO cultural heritage sites and traditions. They are the central sector of Thăng Long Imperial Citadel, the 82 stone Tilly records of doctoral laureates in the Temple of Literature, the Zhongshan Festival and country or ceremonial singing. The city is also popular for its many colonial buildings and the lively daily activities of the locals. Meanwhile, Da Nang, with many beautiful beaches, is at the center of many tourism destinations and World Heritage Sites. Da Nang is also considered one of the emerging 10 tourism destinations in Asia in 2014, alongside Mandalay in Myanmar, Genting in Taiwan, Okinawa in Japan, and Lombok in Indonesia.
And that is the end of our program. Thank you for your attention. We hope to see you again soon.